Hello, welcome to the Wired for Success podcast. I'm your host, Janelle McKinnon. Are you stuck, lacking motivation, and a will to get up and win? If you have stumbled onto this life changing podcast, you will learn how to succeed in every area of your life. Welcome to another wonderful Monday. On today, I want us to go into this area of branding, and we're going to spend a few days here. So, I want to start by establishing the first note that branding or having a brand is the story that makes you or your company stand out. I want you to make a note of that. It's the story of what makes you or your company stand out. You may say to me, well, I'm not in business, so this branding podcast, it's not for me. I want to bring you back in. I want to reel you in and shake you and let you know that you are your first brand manager. It's you. You're not brand managing anything else until you learn how to brand manage yourself first. You are your own brand. Whatever you project, the things you say, the things you do, it's the way you want to be perceived, right? You want to, in your own way, help to foster a mindset of how people see you, how they envision you, the reputation that you have out there. All of these things come into how you manage yourself. For as long, I always loved the area of brand management. I studied business management at the University of Guyana. I have a bachelor's in that. And that area of branding is something that I absolutely loved. And I understood very early on how important it is that I should be a good ambassador of who I am first. I must first represent myself well before I could represent anything else, any organization, anything, anywhere I am, any people that I'm connected to. I must first be a good representation of who I am. That means I have to know who I am. I have to understand what my core beliefs are. Quick question. What are your core beliefs? What are the things about you? What makes you who you are that you will not shift away from those foundational truths about yourself? I believe ingrained in each and every individual are a set of core beliefs. And it's important that you do some digging and know what you stand for. Because it's based on what you stand for. That's what will cause you to stand out. And that is what will give you a certain branding. Think about the brand Colgate. I remember growing up, you would hardly even hear people say, oh, go buy me a tube of toothpaste. They'd say Colgate, Colgate, Colgate. Everything was Colgate. Like it was like if you grew up replacing the word toothpaste with Colgate. Like Colgate was the only toothpaste, the only brand that you knew, And it's so amazing because that brand was so embedded in us that we just weren't looking for anything else. One of the reasons being, they're known for that bright white smile. And so in consistently using toothpaste, for which all of us should have used it already. If not, we're about to use it for the morning. All right. Is that once we use that product consistently, we will have less to no cavities. Yes. And we're going to have that bright smile, but it takes consistency. Now, Colgate, they put their brand out there, they promise. So it's up for the public now and persons who are Advent users of the product to say, hey, this thing does work. It really does cause less cavities and it really does give me a bright smile. That means that Colgate checked the boxes. What they said their brand stood out for is exactly what the brand was able to do. You hear me? And so you as an individual now, it's important for us to carry ourselves the way we would want to be addressed. We can set the tone for how we may be perceived. I understand there's a flip side to that where some people may have beliefs about you, they may listen to hearsay. That's different. But coming from a pure perspective, if you are someone and you're among intelligent people and they're going off of key principles and certain factors, they will base their assessment of you based on how you present yourself, one, and then what it is you really stand for that will come out in your actions. All right, take me for example. If I pride myself and I brand myself on being sweet, being polite, being nice, like that is my brand. Janelle, polite. If you're thinking polite, think Janelle, And so wherever I am, all the places I'm at, I show a smile, greet everybody, whether it's a child, whether it's an elderly person. You're always trying to project that kind-hearted demeanor. You're always going out of your way to give a smile and these things. And so persons see, hey, she seems to be a warm individual. And then when they get around me and they get to know me, they're like, yes, this aligns. So therefore, that's your brand. So everyone really is their own brand ambassador. You get to determine how the world sees you. However you show up, whatever you want to stand out, whatever you want to be known for, that will be your brand. Some persons is like the gangster. They're their own brand ambassador. They sling a gun around. They may be selling dope on the corner. They may have a string of women. All these ill things they're doing, and then what comes out of their mouths, many of them, it's filth, it's violence, it's degradation, it's all these things. And so you see there, even the gangster has a brand. He needs to live up in his gang, in his squad. If he's saying I'm the baddest thing around here, this, that, the other, the third, he needs to live up to that brand. He's his own brand ambassador. So you see how important branding is. If you have a small business, right? Let's say you have a house and you have your shop. Many of us can relate to that. Many persons in our society, they may not have a large supermarket, but they have like a shop in their neighborhood shop. And so people are coming to your shop, you're selling all sorts of items, right? But you may be known for this one thing that you do really, really well. Maybe it's your pylori and your sour, or your chana and your sour, and you always make it so great. But added to that pylori and sour, right? What if when the people came in the shop, they saw you smiling? You greeted them with the biggest smile. And even though you're selling them, you're paying, you may show a little interest Because, at the small shops, you have the ability to do that. You could chat up someone, you can ask them how they're doing, as against if you have a big corporation, you may not have all that time. But that's why we need to make the most of where we are. And don't despise small beginnings. You have the ability to connect with the people in such a grassroots nature that it will speak volumes. Trust me. It's like you never know where the breakthrough is going to come from, and then you don't know who is who. So you want to treat everybody that comes to your shop with respect. You want to speak to everyone kindly. You want to show even the little children who are coming just for a mint or a sweetie, you want to show them the love and honor and respect them as well, right? Because many kids, even in today's society, training is something that's lacking. Even persons being polite these days, it's so rare. Like, people would look you in the face, they don't even say good morning anymore. I understand that many things are shifting and all these things are changing, but we should still hold on to some of these principles. It gives us a very good foundation. It helps us to be relatable, because you never know. You never know who is who. And I like that. I like to see people that have basic manners, children who have manners. So if you run into a child and they're not doing it, sometimes you have to teach them, hey, good afternoon, hi, good morning, and hopefully they learn from all of that's happening. So what is your brand? What is the representation, right, that you are putting out there in the world? Everyone is their own brand manager, as I said, because you are managing who you are and how you present yourself to the world. How is the world seeing you? That's important. In order for any brand to be successful, it must be authentic, and brands must have integrity. If something is authentic, therefore it has integrity ingrained in it, instilled there, embedded, right? Here is where I would love to talk a little about someone who walked the face of the earth, who was an awesome, the best brand manager. Can you guess who that is? Drop who you think it is in the comment section. Don't cheat. Drop the name right now. Integrity matters. Honesty. Jesus. What? And that's the first answer. And remember, you would have already dropped your answer in the comments. Now tell me, give me one word what you would say represented Jesus's brand. What one word? That's easy. Drop it in the comment section. Love. Love. Love, the one word that encompasses the entirety of Jesus's brand. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son. He gave his only Son so that you and I would have a chance in this life, so that we can be reconciled to him. Think about that for a moment. All the miracles that Christ did when he walked the face of this earth, it was out of love. Everything he taught his disciples, everything he taught the members of the clergy, all the religious people, all the people in his community, everywhere he went, everything he did, it was because he demonstrated love. And that is a brand. You see how the Bible is a whole business book in itself? That if we pull these principles into our day-to-day, we can't lose. We cannot lose. And not only, we don't have to manipulate people or force them to do anything, even on the job. You may be a manager, you may have employees that are being neglectful. First thing, you're going to make it a matter of prayer, and you would ask God for a strategy, right? Good. But then at the same time, all the principles are in the Bible, that if you pull on these principles, you will definitely win. You'll definitely win. And 9 out of 10 employees are motivated by leaders who are authentic, where their actions line up with their words, and they're not afraid to stand up for their employees at the same time. We know Jesus stood up for his disciples. Great. So Christ's words aligned with his actions. This is in scripture. The Bible says that God is not man that he would lie. Jesus was such a great brand manager that his brand brought about change. Who here wants their brand to bring about change? I know I want my brand to bring change and transformation. And if you're a business person listening here, I'm sure you want your business to have a good brand, and it comes through you, as the owner. You have to bring your authenticity, your integrity must be felt in the way that you do business. The people come in to you for products, for supply. They must be able to trust your brand, to trust what it is that you're giving them, to know that what this person is giving to me, I know it's going to work. They can stand behind this brand because of the integrity and the good character of the individual whose name is attached to this brand, whose name is attached to this business, whose name is attached to the supervisory post, the manager's post, the CEO's post, whatever post. Ensure how people see you is the way you want to be seen. Write that down. If you want to be seen in a good light, do the things that bring good light. And I'm not talking about performing for the accolades and the applause of men. Put on your thinking caps and know that everything has a context for which I speak. If you want to be seen as someone who is virtuous and all these things, of course it matters what you wear. It does. It's not to say that there aren't people who dress from head to toe covered and things are maybe treacherous about them. That's a whole different topic. But we're talking about the things that we can actually see. So we want to start by first being modest people. Being modest people. So today I want to encourage you to think about these things that we have discussed here this morning. Think about how you want to be seen. Think about the legacy you would like to leave. Maybe you're a mother. You're in a home and you think to yourself you're insignificant. I want to say you are one of the most significant people in the lives of our family, in the lives of your children. If you're a housewife, you are very significant. There is nothing insignificant about you. You are not just a housewife. You are. You are what we need. I know what I needed growing up. And lots of housewives, they have side hustles. They do things. My mother was also a seamstress. I mean, it was a lot of us. I'm going to be honest. And she would do that sewing though. as much as she could. She would get that extra bucks rolling in that was so much so needed. And she was fixing the meals. Nobody wants to go hungry. Food is important in any family, in any community, in the whole world. And so we need our mothers, the housewives to be in the home doing what they do best. Maybe your brand is that you cook the best curry chicken. Come on, mom. You make the best dal. Do whatever your hands find to do. As the Bible says, do it with all your heart. I want to encourage you this morning. Whatever your hands find to do it with all your heart. And ensure that whatever you put out is a good representation of you. Mothers and fathers, your children, they are a representation of you. So we know that after a certain age, the influences no longer come from inside the home. It no longer comes so much from what you say as parent. There's so many outside influences now, and even now more so with the tablet, with the internet, with the AI and all these things coming up. But you have such an important role to play, such an important brand in your home to manage, because these kids are a representation of who you are. And so you must do a good job, especially in those young years when you have them. I know many women who've even put aside their careers just to stay home and look after their family. And thank God they had the ability to do that. And they could have done so comfortably. I mean, that's not everybody's portion. But if you are able to do that, I say to you, by all means, because these children need it. They definitely need it. And so you have a brand to manage, mom. You have a brand to manage, dad. You have a brand to manage, CEO. You have a brand to manage, school teachers, nurses on the hospital, walking the floor and doing your job, how you treat that patient. You don't hear the patient crying out for something and you ignore them because they've just been, I know it's not easy for our nurses. I know it's not easy. But your brand matters. What you put out there. Sometimes we want to say things, all sorts of things. Even I myself, Sunday, myself and my dad, we were on our way to church and this driver just came blasting through out of nowhere. And I was like so mad. I said, my gosh, he's crazy. Crazy. And maybe if my window was down, I may have given him some words. But then sometimes you have to check yourself before you wreck yourself. Because brand matters. How do you want to be seen? How do you want to be held in the minds of the public, of people? It really does matter. So I'm going to leave you with that today. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful Monday morning. I hope you have a wonderful week. Godspeed, whatever your hands find to do. That's the wiring for today. I'm going to leave you with that. Whatever your hands find to do it with all your heart. Don't forget to follow me on YouTube. It should be going up automatically. I have to ensure that the YouTube is going along seamlessly, because I know everyone may not want to download a whole new app, even though I would be grateful, because that way it builds the audience on this app and it helps with the visibility. But nevertheless, like I said, I'm on Spotify, I'm on Apple Podcasts, and we have the YouTube. So you can share out the YouTube video to your friends, your family. Don't forget to share. That's all I ask here. Just share as much as you can. and have a blessed Monday. Bye.